that beautiful or what? Let's wave at those who are streaming in from around the globe. Thousands upon thousands are tuning in, and we welcome you into this sacred space. You are with us because there's no time, nor space, nor distance. All of this dwarfs time and space, so we're all one in this sanctuary of divine love and infinite intelligence. Scan the room for a moment. Just look around and see who's swimming with you in this ocean of devotion. Scan the room where you are and see who you're with, because a lot of you are having groups and meeting and watching us. And just look at each other and give yourself permission to see the divine presence in all of the beings that are here. Because there's not one being that does not have the spark of divinity, the activation of the Christ energies within them. And we are here to see this, to feel this, and to call this forward. I mean, it is a universal law that whatever you're looking for, you'll help create. And so as you're looking for the good in each other, and the beauty, and the love, and the intelligence, you're helping to activate that and to bring that into expression. I'm always reminded that this particular moment is not merely a service. It is a moment of which we are activating the sacred promises that we have made before we came into this sanctuary. It is a moment by which we are activating the sacred memories of our eternal journey that we've been on for many, many lifetimes. So we're coming here in this precise moment to activate the promise and to remember that we're on a journey of awakening to our essential and our true and eternal nature, and to set it free. So when we come upon this particular date, which is the day in which we are celebrating resurrection, the day in which we're celebrating Easter, we are aware that it has obviously the historical and religious aspects of it as we embrace Yeshua ben Joseph, Jesus the Christ, with this powerful story of crucifixion and resurrection. And we're also aware that this is an emanation of the seasonal cycles of the planet, for Easter always falls upon after the first full moon of the spring equinox. That's why every single year the date of Easter is different, because it has something to do with the regularity of the seasons, not just a date in which the historical Jesus rolled away the boulder from the tomb, and he stepped out and said, "Ta-da, I'm still alive." So it has a historical aspect, but it's also in the rhythm of the seasons. So we know that Easter is actually a universal call beyond religions. It is a universal call to each and every one of us, awakening from the dungeons of doubt and worry and fear, lack, limitation, separation, trauma, and all the drama that has become a kind of a tomb for us. It is a universal call of awakening to who and what we really are, and to rise into the divine sunshine of our own being, that Christ's essence being activated, so that on the planet, at this time in human history and beyond, we begin to bring forth our gifts that have oftentimes come forward in the midst of challenges, so that before we leave this planet, the vibration of the earth is at a higher frequency than before we got here. So that as we got here with the turbulence that we have to face when we get here, based on the thoughts, perceptions, beliefs, opinions, points of view, positionalities that have created a kind of a dense world of appearances, otherwise known as the Matrix, otherwise known as a simulation of life, not really life itself, just a simulation of life, a movie theater by which we get to play, by which we get to get feedback by the thoughts we are thinking, and becomes a mirror of our own inner awareness being projected onto the movie screen of life that we call the world of appearances. You are here to be in this movie theater, this simulation, but at the same time, wake up and to see that you're in a simulation. I'm just remembering, but I'm not going to get into that. Not right now. Stop it, Beckwith. Just stay right here. Okay. Anyway, I got to keep this guy in check sometimes. He's interesting. Anyway, this Easter is a universal call to our own awakening. And so we have a powerful template by which we get to understand our own path to resurrection and renewal. So when we move into the portal of transformation, now any drama, any situation, any back against the wall aspect of your life is actually a portal to a greater expression of your life. It is the activation of latent possibilities that lie within you, but it needs enough energy and it needs enough energy and wherewithal to push through so that you can be more you. Just as there are seeds in the soil, in the forest, that remain they don't become active until there's a forest fire. And they can be there years and years and years and years and years, but they just stay there. But they only crack open when there's a forest fire. Now there's stuff within us, talents, gifts, capacities, powers, that remain inert, remain just waiting until there is something strong enough to activate the latency of it. And that's a crucifixion of that particular kind of seed. So with Yeshua ben Joseph, there in the moment of a crucifixion, he gives us a powerful template. He says he's hanging out. Well, okay, he's hanging out. And the thieves, I like to talk about this because it really brings a lot of things to point. There's a thief to his right and there's a thief to his left being crucified as well. One represents the past and one represents the future. Reverend Joanne, you know this. And one is saying, listen, what did you do to get here? Why are we here? Kind of thing. He's representing the past. What did we do? What did you do to get in this situation? And then the one from the next one is saying, what's going to happen to us? And Jesus wasn't tempted to hang out in the past, shame, blame, regret, or the future, doubt, worry, fear, projecting anxiety onto the future. He said, today thou shalt be with me in paradise. His consciousness was rooted in the eternal now. This moment, now, when you're faced with the two tempters in your own life and you're going through hell, keep going. Listen, you look to the left, you see a part of yourself saying, I shouldn't have done this. I made this mistake. I regret this. Or that person is to blame. It's their fault that I'm in the situation that I'm in today. And you hang out in the past. You can't change that from that state of consciousness. Or you run to the tempter in the future. Oh, what's going to happen now? Oh, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm so scared about the future. I don't know what's going to happen. No, you bring your attention into this moment to the best of your ability. This is why spiritual practice is so important. You take a deep breath. You become grateful for that breath. Today, this instant, I am in paradise. This instant, I can breathe. This instant, I have life. This instant, there's something within me that's greater than that which appears to be. You hang out to the best of your ability in that dynamic. And because we're involved in a seasonal rhythm, you become aware of what is a spiritual spring cleaning. That is, one, you stay present as best you can. Two, you begin to do your inner spring clearing. And this is what he said, supposedly from the cross, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. He had an inner cleansing of not blaming. And now come on now, they knew what they were doing. Okay, but they didn't know what they set in motion. They didn't know their own experience that they would have based on what they were doing. They didn't know the karmic retribution for what they were doing. He just said, forgive them, Father. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing to themselves. They don't know what they're doing to the vibration and frequency. They don't know what they're doing. Forgive them. He had deep inner spring cleaning. I'm cleaning out the clutter. I'm cleaning out the resentment. I'm cleaning out the animosity. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. Now, what I'm giving you here is a template for a condition for resurrection. One, stay present. 2, enter into spring cleaning. Easter always comes right after the first moon of each spring equinox. And so we always hear about spring cleaning, cleaning up our house and things of that particular nature. And that's important. But what's really important is to clean up your consciousness. Clean up the disturbances in your own awareness. Clean up the false beliefs. Clean up the superstitions. Clean up all the ways by which you have given power outside of yourself. It's the things out there. That's powerful. No, you clean all of that up. And then you understand this man in occupied territory with individuals that were building great monuments to themselves, putting their name on it. People were afraid of being picked up and taken and crucified and arrested and things of that particular nature. He was in occupied territory. And he said in substance, listen, in this world, there's going to be trials and tribulations. There's going to be some stuff going down. There's stuff happening. But I want you to know something. He said in substance, be of good cheer, because I have overcome the world. Now, this being of good cheer is not poppycock. It's not, I'm of good cheer. No. In order to be of good cheer in the face of being in occupied territory, in a world of confusion, in a world of trial and tribulation, he was talking about deep spiritual practice. He was talking about praying to such a degree that the appearance world starts to fade, and you begin to see that wherever you are on your journey and wherever you are physically, that right where you are is the presence and the power and the love of God. Do not be afraid of that which can kill the body, but only that which could kill the soul, and your soul is eternal. Be unafraid. Be of good cheer. And you begin to overcome the world of appearances. When you are in fear, doubt, worry, you put static on the line. You can't hear the wisdom. You can't hear the intelligence. You can't hear the guidance. You can't hear it. All you hear is the jangling discords emanating from your small self, being afraid of the future or resenting the past. But when you begin to elevate your awareness to a degree, you start to hear, oh my God, the ground upon which I am standing is holy because I'm standing here and God is everywhere. There's something about me that cannot be disturbed. I'm guided how to maneuver through the world of appearances. I'm guided as to what steps to take. I'm guided because I can hear. The still small voice is not still and small anymore. After a while, it becomes the only voice you hear. You're able to discern the difference between the static and the worry and the little voice screaming out about all this stuff. You begin to hear, oh my God, I'm with you. You begin to hear, I'm with you. You begin to hear the ancestors are with you. You begin to hear the angels are with you. You begin to hear all the power and the presence and the love of God is with you right now. Be not dismayed. Be of good cheer. I've overcome the world of appearances. And then the template. If he came to show the power and the presence of love, period. Just, we always talk about the fact here at Agape, we talked about the fact that we're here to perfect our loving. That's why we were here. We can get caught up in the eddies of materialism and all the stuff of the world, but ultimately it always comes down to how well are you loving? How well are you loving yourself? Not egotistically. We've already seen that imprint. How well are you loving yourself? How well are you loving this beautiful soul that's emanated from the presence and the love of God? Are you able to embrace this, even though the small self has said things you wish you hadn't said, made mistakes, moved when you shouldn't have moved, didn't move when you should have? Yes, in the human experience, you're on a journey of unfoldment. But how well can you stop and embrace yourself? How well, to that degree, you can love your neighbor. So when he said love your neighbor as yourself, you don't want to wish your lack of self-love on anybody. No, don't do that. You're absolutely falling in love with his presence. It's a spiritual practice, not just a belief, it's spiritual practice. You see, until when you hear love your neighbor as yourself, That whole vibration of neighbor expands beyond the person next to you in your neighborhood. It expands to the people on the planet. It expands to all sentient beings. Love your neighbor. Love all sentient beings as you love your real, essential, and eternal self. You begin to feel into that, and then you hear him say, I want you to love each other the way you love me. Everyone's projecting all of the power and the beauty and all of the wonderful qualities onto Jesus, the Christ. You see, that's not a bad thing. But he says, wait a minute. I want you to love each other the way you love me. I want you to love each other that way. The way you love me, I want you to love each other. And so you want to check yourself out. Even in regular, normal, day-to-day activities, you have your special people and you have your other people. You want to love the so-called other people as much as you love your special people. That's a spiritual practice. Now, why is this important? Because at this time in human history, as I mentioned a little bit last week, tyranny, dictatorship, authoritarianism, totalitarianism cannot take root in a field of love. It is impossible. It is impossible. It can only take root when there's polarization, when there's otherness, when there's separation, the old divide and conquer vibration that keeps people disempowered. Oh, it's the immigrants' fault. It's gay people's fault. It's black people's fault. It's white people's fault. It's Japanese people's fault. Let's lock them up again in internment. Let's send everybody away. There can only be a dictatorship when there's a lack of love in the community. When we rise up and hear on Easter, oh, love as you love me, love each other. Love your neighbor as yourself. So you see the template. You're not being tempted by the past. You're not being tempted by the future. You're doing your inner spring cleaning, the belief systems, the clutter, the superstitions, the things you've inherited from the world. You begin to clean that out through prayer and through meditation, through visioning, through study, through high fellowship. And then you develop such a spiritual practice that you're able to not deny the effects of the world. You're not denying what's going on, but you're walking in a higher frequency. Be of good cheer. I've overcome this world of appearances. I'm not in the matrix. I'm not in the simulation. I'm in heaven right now. I'm walking and talking and singing and dancing in the field of heaven. And then when you get to the love factor, you're creating a condition for what? The emergence of the next stage of human evolution. Chaos precedes emergence. Chaos precedes another level of higher order. There is some chaos in the cocoon. It's chaotic. It's death there. It's the death of an old being. Chaos, calamity, death. It's a precursor to butterfly. Butterfly, fly, you see. And so when you understand that, then when you hear him say, into thine hands I commit my spirit. I surrender all. You begin to say to yourself, all that I have been, all that I am, all that I hope to be, I surrender it all to the presence of God. I live in total surrender. I'm not hanging on. I'm not trying to manipulate God to make something happen. I know that God is everywhere. God is love. God is abundance. God is harmony. God is peace. God is intelligence. God is all that there is. I'm giving my entire life to this presence on the regular. And as that happens, there is a renewal and a resurgence. There is that which does not die. There is our real self begins to emerge and comes out of the seeming darkness and whatever the worst thing that could have possibly have happened to us. We begin to see it as a portal, an opening to a greater expression of life. Oh, if that hadn't happened, I would have never known about the power of forgiveness. If that hadn't happened, I would never known the power of resilience. If that hadn't happened, I would have never known the power of courage, because unless you move through something you're afraid of, you don't know what courage is. Unless that darkness hadn't happened, I wouldn't be who I am meant to be. The crucifixion becomes a portal to the next level of growth and unfoldment. It is him saying to something, hey, I'm alive, I'm awake, I'm aware, I have resurrected, and you must resurrect. You must turn yourself over. You must wake up on a regular basis in your own words and say, all that I have been, all that I think I am, all that I hope to be, I surrender it to life. I surrender it to God. I yield to the love and the beauty and the abundance that is everywhere. I give myself over. And in that feeling tone of divine love, in that feeling tone of good cheer, which is a consciousness of absolute faith and conviction, and with the feeling tone of a deep and urgent cleansing on a regular basis, so we're not walking around judging each other all the time, but we're walking around seeing the presence of God in each other and walking in that moment of not being hypnotized by the two thieves. Oh my God, new life emerges. And that life is beyond our imagination. The good that gets to flow through us sometimes can't even be visualized. And then it dawns on you, whoa, I'm different. It dawns on you, oh, I've changed. It dawns on you. And we move to the mountaintop of consciousness. And we look over and we see the promised land of our own being. And it's more real to us than the temporary human experiences. Oh, so it's on the micro level. It's our own resurrection through our own crucifixion of the small self, dying to the old, to be born to the eternal new. And then it's expanded, loving our neighbor as ourselves. It expands first as personal success, and then planetary success. We begin to see all beings, regardless of how different governments call people, we don't fall prey to that nonsense. All life is precious. All beings are emanations of God Almighty. We don't get pulled into the myopic points of view of how governments will define other people. No, they're all our neighbors. They're all our brothers and sisters. We rise up with the greater readiness of divine love. Dictatorship cannot stand that kind of light. And out of that chaos, a new order emerges. The butterfly shows up. The phoenix shows up out of the ashes of that which is not sustainable. Hate is not sustainable. Bigotry is not sustainable. Racism is not sustainable. Homophobia is not sustainable. Sexism is not sustainable. But love is. Love is. Love is sustainable. Love is sustainable. Love is sustainable. And then we just live in the question, what is mine to do? What am I to contribute? How am I to participate in the unfolding good that cannot be stopped because it's a part of the multidimensional universe that came out of the cosmos, that came out of the mind of God? It can't be stopped. Are you with it or are you fighting it? Are you resisting it or are you yielding and surrendering to it? Oh, there's more good than you can imagine. I know individuals are going through holy caca, holy shiitake. I know. Just take one practice. Like what came up this morning in the way of meditation service as I was teaching in that Dharma talk. You know, you want to make sure that you're articulating vision, purpose, and possibility more than you're complaining about your circumstance. You have to get 50.1% on the side of articulating what's possible than what you're complaining about. And then pretty soon it's 51%, then 55. And then pretty soon you're speaking more about how you got over. You're more testifying. You're speaking more about, oh, I've gone through it, but I'm keeping on going. I'm not going to stay with it. You're speaking a different language, and people won't understand you because they know you've been through it. They know you're going through it, but you're walking through it with your back straight. Your posture is good. You're taking deep breaths. You're affirming reality. You are proclaiming loudly the declaration of truth in the midst of appearance of negativity. This is the inner work. The crucifixion is our portal. The resurrection is our testimony. And we stand in it. Woo, and we say, thank you, Jesus. Say it, it's all right. Thank you, Jesus, for being a great example. Thank you for being an example. Not the exception, but an exceptional example. Because it wouldn't do us any good if he came through and said, you can't do what I do. Don't even try it. I'm different. I'm special. No, I'm the only son of the only father. Everybody else is a stepson or daughter. No, he didn't say that. That's not the teaching. He didn't say that. He emerged from the great presence of God in one incarnation, woke up, came out of the simulation, and said, in substance, my life is divine. But then he quoted the Old Testament and said, is it not written, ye are gods, and greater things than these shall you do. Woo! So it's okay to say, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Yeshua. Thank you for being the example. Thank you for being a way shower. Thank you for showing the way. Thank you for all that you went through under the aegis of a Roman Empire. Thank you. That we can walk in this moment with good cheer. It's going to be all right. Something's going to flow through us. We're going to love each other. And we're going to love each other so well that a whole new frequency begins to take over. We start turning off the news. We start seeing possibilities. And then we can't be touched. And a whole new neighborhoods and civilization, societies start to arise independent of those who would try to control you. Okay. You. Greater things than these shall you do. Oh, put your hands around you right here. Just kind of do this and soothe yourself for a moment. And just say out loud with me, if you will. I surrender all that I have been. I surrender all that I hope to be. I surrender all that I think I am to the great power and presence of God. I yield to my inner divinity. I yield to love. I yield to peace. I yield to joy. I yield to abundance. I yield to prosperity. I yield to wellness. I yield to wholeness. I yield to well-being. I yield to my real self. I am resurrecting now. I'm resurrecting now. I'm resurrecting now. Woo-wee. And so I invite you to turn within with me for just a moment as we continue in what is called affirmative prayer. Yes, we can ask, but we're not begging. Yes, we can declare, but we're not manipulating. We're entering now into a sacred field of gratitude with the reminder that this is a holy moment, an activation of the promises we made to ourselves before we incarnated, and the activation of sacred, soulful memories of insights and revelations that we've had along the way on our journey to cosmic enlightenment. We enter into a field of gratitude right now. You can do this. You can extricate yourself from any circumstance or situation you may be growing through and just peek out and be grateful for anything. Oh, I'm so grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to be awake. I'm grateful to be in this place. I'm just grateful. Oh, and our perceptual windows start to become a little bit clearer. We're not just seeing roadblocks. We're seeing pathways. We're journeying. There's openings. Oh, our perceptual windows are clearing up. There's a way out. The way out is the way in. As we turn in, there's a way out. We start to see, oh my God, there's possibility. Oh, there's a healing going. Oh my God, something's happening. I don't know how this is happening, but things are changing for the better. Oh my God, where did that start? It started within our consciousness. So in this consciousness of gratitude, and the perceptual windows becoming clear, we're recognizing the presence, recognizing God. We're seeing it in our neighbor. We're seeing it in the flowers. We're seeing it in the trees. We're seeing it in the grass. Animate and inanimate objects are glowing with the presence of God. God is everywhere. Oh, and then something happens and we start to have an insight. Oh my God, I'm at one with all of this. I'm at one with the trees. I'm at one with the grass. I'm at one with the flowers. I'm at one with my neighbors, even the ones that don't like me. I'm at one from the inner to the outer, that flame of the divine. I'm connected to it. I see God. My life is God's life. I surrender. And now, a word of realization. I speak the word for each and every one of us, that we may be free. We are awakening from the simulation, the simulated life, to the real life. From the matrix to the universal presence. Woo! I speak the word, the vibrational frequency for our wholeness, our wellness, our well-being, our spiritual guidance, moving through us in a language and in a way that we can understand and act upon. There's a movement of energy that manifests and ultimately changes our thinking. It changes our conversation, and it changes how we walk in the world. It changes everything. Will thou be made whole? What? It changes everything. Everything for the better. Oh, I'm feeling this in my bones. And I give thanks. Woo! Help them. Help them feel it for a moment. It don't mean a thing if you don't have that feeling.
As around the sun,
feeling universe,
earth knows she's revolving. And the rosebuds know to bloom in early May. Just as hate knows love's the cure, you can rest your mind assured that God is loving you always.
As now can't reveal the mysteries of tomorrow, but in passing may grow old. old every day. Well, just as all is born is new. Do know what I say is true. God is loving you always.
Did you know true love asks for nothing?
Well,
Her acceptance is the way we pay. Yeah.
oh, did you know that life has given love a guarantee to last forever in another day? Tomorrow, oh,
Seasons know exactly when to change.
oh, yes they do. Yes. Kindness
No
knows no shame, no
You
through
go through all your joy,
all your
and
joy and
pain.
pain.
God is loving you always.
Everyone take a deep breath. Release. Close your outer eye for a moment and feel the power and presence and love of God.